Good morning. Today is Monday, and I know it's not my normal day to podcast. Normally, I do that on Tuesdays, but today we're going to do this because we're getting ready to go to North Carolina. It shall be interesting. As a lot of you know, the COPPA thing is front and center for a lot of us. Daryl Eves has come out with a new video where he talks with one of the other lawyers who also has a YouTube channel, and both of them have channels that are family oriented. So it's an hour-long talk with them, and they talk about what they have been doing with the FTC, the meetings they have been to, the amount of hours they have spent, which is like 60 hours, looking at this issue and whatnot. And it's a very interesting video for those of us that it might affect. Good news is the FTC does have an exception for what they call a general audience, which would be most of us, a lot of crafters. But if they get into the final rules and law writing, constitutionally, the law has to have no ambiguity, those kind of things. So those are some things to look at. It looks like it's going to be a little bit easier than what we thought it might be, but there are still some trigger points. But that's why it's important for us as not only viewers, but content creators to sign the petition, to go to the FTC website, to leave comments. You have until December the 9th to leave comments about just little things, like I watch a lot of things that have kid-oriented things. I do a lot of family vlogging that I look at, things like that. And that basically is where we're at right now. I think that it's going to be probably confusing through the month of December until we get towards the end of December. So those of you that have channels, hang tight. Just don't start deleting willy-nilly. They use as an example someone who basically killed his channel because he is family oriented, but he marked his videos as for kids. And if you go into the settings, you can see where you have to mark your video, whether it's kid friendly or not, geared towards kids. But I did notice, and I haven't noticed it in the settings yet, but if you go and when you're uploading videos to YouTube, if you use their beta uploader that looks at your video, it's the bot that kind of does a scan of your video to see whether or not what you're saying is true. When you get in there, there is a lower part where it says to designate whether it's kid-friendly or not kid-friendly. But if you scroll even further down, there is something that says more options. And there are two more options that list target for 18 and over only. And then there is one is do not restrict for 18 and under. So I think YouTube is trying to add that general audience in there, but I'm not real sure they quite get the gist of it yet. So that's where I think we'll see some changes, as it gets clearer with YouTube and their lawyers and with the FTC. And there are like 40 hours of the COPPA video where they do discuss these changes. And you can view those as well if you'd like to, but don't let it scare you, okay? Let's just see where this is going. Finished objects. I do have a finished object, and that is this one. This is the blanket that I did. It is Fiber Spider's tutorial on every which way blanket. And I do believe, like I said, I'm not positive, but I believe the name of it on Ravelry is Fairy Slippers Blanket. But if you go to Google and you put in written pattern for every which way, it comes up with that Fairy Slippers or Fairy something name. So you can find the written pattern. But the written pattern is in UK terms, so you may need to, change it up a little bit. The only thing that I did different is I added 2 rows of double crochet at the very end to finish off this blanket. And this blanket measures 41 inches square for me, which that is perfectly fine for a baby size blanket. Now, I have some acquisitions, and these are personal acquisitions. This week, my Ollies got in the raspberry ribbon variegated, so I did pick up 8 of these to do a blanket. I'm loving the way this stuff works up. I use a P or NP. I think it's NP. Yep. It's the purple clover, and it is a 10 millimeter hook. I use that, and I do half double crochets, and it works out beautiful. Just gorgeous. Just glides right on through there. So if you have an Ollie's near you, consider that. The tag on that says $6.99 regular price, but Ollie's price is $1.99. And of course, in my Ollie's store, that was on one of the very top shelves. There was a gentleman and his wife walking by, and I said, why did they put the color I want up there? They did that with the purple too last week. And I was like, why do they have it on the very top? I can't reach that. People can't reach that. So he reached up and he got me 2 balls, and I said, but I need 6 more. He goes, oh. I said, maybe if you just kind of pull the box out a little bit, tip it over, we can get them all to fall. I said, the good news is it's soft, so it won't hurt us. Which he did that. And we picked the balls up, and those that fell that I didn't need, I put them up with the other pinks, full pink. So that was kind of fun. I did go to my local Walmart this weekend, and we found that they had this lovely, what they're calling red panda, go for faux fur. And it kind of looks more kind of brownish, with a reddish tinge. I got 2 of these. Now, they were marked $3.50, but when we rang them up, they were $1 each. So, you can bet I was thrilled. And there were only 2 of this color. They had quite a few of the pinks, those kind of things, but I just left those. Now, for whips. And I know I'm flying through them. I got a ton of things to do. I have another knocker that is on the double pointed needles. And of course, I don't know if I have ever told you in the past, I do the color on the back. We call that party in the back. And a neutral color in front. It just breaks up some of the monotony from just doing plain colors, plain neutral colors for me. Some of the women love it. Others just want a totally neutral color, and that's fine. I make those too as well. And I will tell you, from January through today, I have given out 104 pairs. Well, 104 knockers, not pairs. 104 of these breast prosthesis through our breast prosthesis ministry. So I couldn't be more thrilled about that. We did have a generous donation. Our local library, 2 of the folks that do a lot of programming there. They started doing what they call teas. You know, like in the afternoon, just a nice little tea. And one of their teas was called the Pink Ribbon tea. And so they knew that we make these breast prostheses, and they made a very generous donation for us. So we were able to buy quite a bit more yarn to keep it going. And because we work solely on donations for those kind of things, and I have in the past, when I give these out, I get a gift bag at the Dollar Tree, and the breast prostheses are in Ziploc baggies. And I did not like that because it felt so cheap. But with this generous donation, I was able to buy some beautiful organza bags so that I can place all that and all the information in with that and hand those out in place of the baggied breast prostheses. So I'm thrilled about that donation. So now I have another whip that I started. As you can tell, this is a very small project. I have started another raglan top for me. This is done with the Red Heart with Love in the Holly Berry color, and I will tell you I am using the herringbone half double crochet stitch for this, and I'm planning on putting lace at the bottom of the sweater. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do 3/4 sleeves with lace at the bottom to bring it a little bit lower of the sleeves with a little bit of lace around the neckline. And of course the lace on the neckline will be done after I've finished it. This is normal. I started with a number of stitches that are divided by 6. And I will leave a link down below to that raglan where I kind of explain how I start that. You can make it any size using the formula being able to divide by 6 for a square neck. Now you can change that around. I am working on a video about doing a circular neck. That is a little bit different in the way that you work that up, but it's still doable. And that'll be coming probably next year. I don't know if I'll have time to get it filmed before December, because I really want to work on this one. And yeah, so I'll leave a link down below about that raglan, how I get mine started. You can use any stitch you like. I just chose to use the half double herringbone for this one because I like the look of that stitch. And I think it'll be very pretty with the lace pattern that I'm going to use on the bottom of it and at the sleeves. And you'll see that progress as I continue with that. And of course I have a lot of other whips, but I'm just concentrating on these right now. So yeah, that's it for that portion of the podcast. And now it's time for What in Tarnation? And we have some fun stories today. The first one, and hopefully some of you have seen the video. Some of the news stations are playing it, and YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook has it. It's one of those viral things that has gone on, but the video is quite funny. Florida dog knocks car into reverse, drives in circles for hours. Well, I kind of have a problem with that because dogs shouldn't have been left alone in the car, especially with it running. Residents of a Florida neighborhood said a car that drove in circles in reverse for about an hour only had a single occupant, a dog. Police said the driver of the car in Port St. Lucie had gotten out and left the vehicle running, and the dog then apparently knocked the vehicle into reverse. Neighbors said the car was moving for about an hour before the police were able to stop it. First, I thought I saw somebody backing up, but then they kept going, and I'm like, okay, what are they doing? Saballs told WPBF TV. The cops came, and I'm like, okay. Police were able to enter a code to open a door, stop the car, and rescue the dog. Sable said the car hit a mailbox, some garbage cans, and some bricks in front of a home while the canine was behind the wheel. He was doing pretty good until he hit the mailbox. He went around for about an hour without hitting anything at all. I bet he's not going to get his license anytime soon. Can you imagine the insurance claim on that? My dog drove the car. I'm sorry, sir, we don't cover dogs driving cars. This next one is a feel-good story, and I actually heard this on Family Life when I was driving down the road. Missing Oregon cat found 5 years later in New Mexico. An Oregon family's cat was found more than 1,200 miles away in New Mexico after disappearing 5 years earlier. The Santa Fe Animal Shelter said black cat Sasha was identified via a microchip after being found recently wandering the streets of the city. The microchip revealed Sasha's family lived more than 1,200 miles away in Portland. Victor Usov, 31, said he was shocked to receive a call from the shelter telling him Sasha had been found. I couldn't believe it, Usov said. We thought the worst, but when we received the call, we were thankful Sasha was alive and well. Usov said Sasha must have hitched a ride at some point after disappearing from the family's home 5 years earlier. He said the feline was on a great American adventure, and truly Sasha was. American Airlines has offered to fly Sasha home to Oregon. The shelter said the case highlights the importance of microchipping pets. And it does, because that's one of the first things they normally check is to see if the animals are microchipped. A simple microchip, which is the size of a grain of rice, is implanted under the pet's skin, helped us find the guardian of this missing cat, the shelter's public relations manager said. I think that's a really good feel story. This is another feel-good story, and kudos to this gentleman who did this. Bagel store manager drives 7 hours to return customers' lost keys. A New York State bagel store clerk is being hailed as a hero after taking a 7-hour round-trip drive to return a set of keys left behind by a customer. Diana Chong said her husband kept the car running while she popped into Bagels 101 in Middle Island to grab some coffee. I took my keys because I used the Bally rewards, Chong told WPVI-TV. Sorry about that. I come here every morning on my way to work, and then after that I got my bagels. I went back to the car and we drove away. Chong said it wasn't until arriving in Honesdale, PA, that she realized she left the keys 180 miles away at the bagel shop. The key ring includes the fob needed to start her family vehicle. John called Bagels 101 and quickly realized while talking to manager Vincent that overnighting the keys wouldn't work as there is no mail delivery on Sunday, and she and her husband both had to work Monday. I said, I'll overnight them, the manager said. She called back and said that I can't overnight them and was like, I can't go to work on Monday. I said, I'll be right there. Send me the address. I'll come drop them off. Prosia drove the 3.5 hours to drop off the couple's keys and then drove 3.5 hours home. It's a fact that he only knows me from coming in every morning, she said. And he said without hesitation, came all the way. Drove 3.5 hours there, 3.5 hours back, got 2 hours sleep to go to work the next day. I can't ask anything more. Prosia said it was just the right thing to do. That's amazing. See, there are kind people out there. This next one I find amusing. Dubai bar offering women free drinks based on their weight. A Dubai bar is drawing in female customers with an unusual promotion. The more they weigh, the more free drinks they receive. The Fusion Club at Castle's Al Barsha Hotel announced it will be running a special through the end of the year offering 0.12 in free drink credit for every pound a female customer weighs, meaning a woman weighing 150 pounds would receive about $18.50 worth of free drinks. Bar managers said there is a scale available in the bar, but customers can also use the honor system to merely tell their weight to bartenders. Although we have a weighing machine at the bar entrance, we do not insist our guests to verify the weight, Anil Kumar, the hotel's food and beverage manager, told Insider. We believe in the magnanimity of our lady guest, he said. They can just write the weight on a paper and give it to the bartender discreetly and enjoy drinks equal to the value wrote on the paper. Very simple, no strings attached. The promotion's motto is, it's good to gain weight. Come on, ladies. Let's go to Dubai to get our ladies' nights drinks on the house. Sorry, that just tickled me. This next one, I would imagine in Kansas, was a very odd scene to see. Loose camel, cow, and donkey wander into Kansas neighborhood. Residents of a Kansas neighborhood were left perplexed when an unusual trio of animals, a cow, a camel, and a donkey, wandered into the area. Trudy Wilcox said she was driving in the neighborhood Sunday near Goddard when she and her companions spotted the three animals. We were just coming back from picking up a friend and came into the trailer park, and the first thing we see is, hey, there's a cow. Wait a minute, that's a donkey. And that's a camel. And we had all three. Neighbors called authorities and Goddard Police Department put a photo up of the animals on Facebook. Does anyone know the owners of these three friends traveling together towards a northern star just east of Goddard? If we cannot locate the owner, we may be halfway towards a live nativity this Christmas season, the post said. Police said they were later able to identify the owner, an employee of the Tanganyika Wildlife Park and return the animals home. All they needed was a manger. Sorry, I even snorted. Sorry. That's it for today's podcast. I hope you have a great... Sorry. I hope you have a great week this week. For those of you that are alone on Thanksgiving, please consider going out to one of the free churches in your area for a meal. A lot of the churches are giving away free meals for Thanksgiving. It's a great time to meet others, socialize, and not be alone on Thanksgiving. And for those of you that are going to families, have safe travels. Enjoy your week with your family. And when we get back, we'll start looking at Christmas. Everybody have a great week. And remember, choose kindness.